Hello, everybody. Andy Jacob here with the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series. And I have a wonderful show today. You know, we talk about the digital revolution all the time. We talk about the way in which it's changing the world. And one area that it's definitely changing in a very, very fast-paced way is philanthropy. And of course, people that watch the show, you know I love that space very, very much. And, you know, we've had some people on the show talking about NGOs before, and we've been able to book really one of the leaders in the space. I've been working with his team to get Mr. Samir Zuhad on the show for a number of weeks. It's hard to book him in, and finally we've been able to put it together, but I'm real honored to have him on the show. He is the CEO and founder of Funds for NGOs. And when we talk about grants and resources really for sustainability, worldwide, Samir is one of the top-notch experts, so it's a real honor to have him on the show today. Samir, welcome to the DotCom Magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much.
Yes, it's great to have you, Samir. Of course, you're one of the leaders in the space. You have a great team. So many people come to your platform. I mean, there's sample proposals for any sector. Of course, you can plan projects, you can write proposals. You have a free subscription service where people can get incredible information. And I want to get into all of that as well, because the grants and resources for sustainability space is really interesting. You're leading it all the way through the world. But before we get started, as we always like to do, Samir, tell us about Funds for NGOs, and then we're going to get into it.
Sure. Funds for NGOs is a social enterprise. It was established with the purpose of empowering non-profit organizations and individuals with skills and resources so that they can improve their resource mobilization process, thrive in a very sustainable environment, and continue doing the good work they have been doing. Now, grants are the lifeblood of any non-profit organizations. If there are grants, they are going to work, and if there are no grants, they are not going to work. But accessing those grants has become very challenging in the recent times. You know, there's lots of competition, lots of compliances. There's complex eligibility criteria to apply for these grants, very technical stuff, and it is not easy for many non-profit organizations from developing countries to access these grants easily. So that's where Funds for NGOs actually comes into the picture. So Funds for NGOs actually provides these resources and skills to these organizations so that they can continue doing the good work they have been doing. So Funds for NGOs itself started as an informal blog way back in 2008. But now but then very soon it got transitioned into a formal company in the United States. And we have been into this business for the last 15 years.
Yeah, it's so interesting, Samir. People that watch the show, they know that I'm involved in a nonprofit here in the United States. And I might want to mention that Samir is in Singapore right now, and it's very, very late in Singapore and very early in San Francisco. But that's the way the digital revolution works. We can talk across the sea. We can talk across the ocean. It's fantastic. And the people watching the show, as I mentioned, you know that I'm involved in a nonprofit. I'm on a board of directors of one, and grant writing is very, very prevalent. Of course, you know, many smaller nonprofits, they don't have the ability to bring a full-time grant writer on staff. As nonprofits get a little bit bigger, they do have an opportunity to bring those types of people on staff. But what you provide, Samir, is very interesting and important, because these types of grants, these types of resources are available all over the world, whether somebody is in Latin America or Africa, in Asia, anywhere, Canada, I mean, you name it, the Middle East. Grants are available for NGOs, and you have these incredible resources for people. When people come on the platform, Samir, from the nonprofits, what's the number one thing they're looking for? Are they looking for the resources that you offer? Are they looking for the latest types of grants that you list, of course, almost real time? They're looking for writing proposals. What are they looking for when they come to the platform?
Well, the most popular feature that we have got is that the grant search, the ability to do grant search on our website. So that's a very popular feature, and most of our non-profit organizations, whether they are from Asia, Africa, Europe, or the United States, the first thing they want to land up on website is to find out whether they have got relevant grants for their organization, for their country, or for even for the region where they are actually working. So that's a very demanding feature that has been with us for last many years, and they look upon Funds for NGOs as the preliminary platform where they can gather this information, because we have been putting in lots and lots of grant information from all parts of the world, and that has been the most interesting feature of what we provide.
Yes, Samir, it's amazing. My team and I have been on the website. We started scrolling through the grants that you have, and it almost seems like it's updating almost real time. I mean, there are so many grants and so many opportunities for people that come to your platform to see what's available. And then after they see what's available, what's the next step, Samir? They can read through the grant, they can see what it's all about, they can start writing the grants, and then maybe even use your platform to understand how to write the correct proposal if we're seeing it correctly.
Well, we have two options basically. We have got a free website and we have a more professionally built premium version of the website. On the free website, it is just the publication of the grant. They can use that information. They can look at where the grant is, what the grant is about, and they can click on get further information about the grant from the original website. But if they want further resources, they want guidance, they want mentoring support, they want to go through some of the sample applications about the same grant, they can actually register for a premium platform. Now, premium platform is more diverse, more professionally built up, and they could actually go through lots and lots of resources, get guidance from expert professionals, and use that information to build their own proposal, plan their own projects, and start writing their grant application. So lots and lots of our customers have found this very useful, and they have been using it to win grants all across the world.
Yeah, it makes sense, Samir. Of course, you've been in this for a number of years. You're really a leader in what I call digital revolutionizing the philanthropy space, which is really remarkable. Let's talk about grants, generally speaking, before we get into a little bit more of the platform. And of course, you have a great team that we have to talk about. Your team at Funds for NGOs, they look like a who's who of, a philanthropy, of grant writing, of grant resources, of grant information. But let's speak about grants generally. Who's offering the grants? There's so many grants on your website. Are these from government agencies, private agencies, or both?
All of them, actually. We have grants from government agencies. We have grants from bilateral agencies, multilaterals. We have local government grants. We have private foundation grants, lots and lots of them published. We have agencies like the United Nations, the World Bank. We publish grants from these agencies as well. We cover local grants also. Many of these grants are locally available from local grant-making foundations within many of these countries. So we also publish grants and we try to cover all these grants for the sake of our customers.
Yeah, I love it, Samir. I want to talk a little bit more about the premium platform, because you offer an incredible amount of information on the platform, an incredible amount of, I'll call, planning resources on the platform. But you also have this great team. So on the premium platform, can I reach out to a member of your team if I have a question or get some perhaps help from a member of your team in this writing process?
Yes, very much, because we have a very dynamic customer support team with us that is available most of the time to help our customers access resources. Now, we are dealing with a diverse group of customers. We have customers across Africa, even from the poorest regions of countries like Kenya, Uganda, South Africa, and many of these work from very remote locations, and they don't even have proper internet access. So they have to reach us to even download certain applications, certain ebooks from our platform. So they try to get in touch with us. They have got payment issues. they have to get some clearances. So they try to get in touch with us. They talk to us. They discuss to us. So we have a very experienced customer support team available all the time to provide them support both by phone and by email.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And they're just really an email away or a phone call away. And you mentioned people from other, these countries, whether it's, Africa or some of the other areas where grant receiving and grant offerings are becoming very prolific. In Africa, just specializing just for a moment, talking about Africa, I speak to a lot of people that are seeing Africa as a burgeoning entrepreneurial community. There's a lot going on there, and there's a lot of people that are trying to get their foot in the door in Africa, as well as, of course, people and government agencies offering grants to different types of organizations within Africa. When we talk about the NGOs, let's talk about it. How do we look at NGOs? What's the umbrella? What's sort of a typical type of an NGO? And maybe even for the people watching, explain what an NGO is.
Well, NGOs in simple terms are non-profit organizations. The term NGO is more popular in developing part of the world. They play a very critical role in social development, social and environment development. In fact, governments and many other large international agencies reach them out because they have the best outreach support if they want to reach out to the poorest and remote communities. In many of these small and poor developing countries, they are the first contact points. They are the change makers, agents of change, and they play a very critical role in the whole international development sphere. But then NGOs have been mushrooming everywhere. That's our big challenge. The resources have come down and competition has increased. But there are resources also available. Grants are still being given out. I have seen that even in the peak COVID times during the pandemic, there was never a dearth of resources, and there were NGOs continuously applying for new grants and getting those grants and continuing to work. So the grant making process itself continues to be part of the world economy and has always been growing from time to time. But NGOs in Africa have continued to face the same challenges in terms of accessing the grants. Like I said before, they lack skills, they lack knowledge in trying to understand the grant, in trying to understand the eligibility criteria. So always with a grant, we have to make sure that they are applying to the right donor agency with the right proposal at the right time. You see, that's quite a technical stuff, and if they are not clear about those things, they end up failing with their projects, failing in winning proposals. So the basic criteria for winning any proposal is that they have to make sure that they are applying to the right donor agency at the right time and with the right idea. But otherwise, the funds are still available. But only thing is that they have to make sure that they are equipped with enough knowledge and resources to apply and win grants.
Yes, Amir, it makes sense. Of course, you talk about the donor agencies or the funding agencies for the NGOs. Let's talk about that just for a moment, because are they country specific? In other words, in Africa, are there only the people that are funding the grants from Africa, or are they from other countries as well? And is that one of the sort of secrets of the success of the platform, is that you bring all these people that can fund the NGOs under one umbrella on one platform?
Well, the higher concentration of donor agencies is mostly from the developed region. They are from the United States, Canada, and Europe. A lot of money they get in aid to these African and Asian countries. So we have a donor database in which we have recorded around like hundreds and thousands of private foundations offering grants. But again, not all of them are willing to fund all the time. Even these are many small donors. They have very specific interests, very limited to certain countries. So each there are very few donor foundations that actually work globally. But those which are working, they have specific countries. They look at the criteria. They look at the poverty levels in a certain region or certain countries, and then only they actually take a decision to make a funding. But otherwise, there are large international bilateral and multilateral agencies like the US Agency for International Development, the European Commission. They work at a global level, and that's a very large funding available. But then they also include funding for large organizations, governments, private companies, and a lot more. The clientele that we work with are small and medium-sized organizations that seek to access small private foundation funding and maybe the embassy funding, and then they use those resources to make some small changes within their own areas.
Yeah, Samir, it's really interesting because when we think about it and we look at the platform, there are so many grants available. So I want to get a little geeky with you for a little bit. I know you've got a great tech background. How do you get all of the updated newest grants coming up on the website? Is that something that they send to you, or you ping back to them? Because it just seems like an ever-changing, revolving number of grants that come through the platform.
Well, we have almost 15 years of experience doing that. We collect business intelligence for NGOs, so we have to make sure that we are updated with all the information that we can. So we use both offline and online methods to collect information. We have got contacts, since Funds for NGOs is a very well established brand with many of the international donor agencies. They get in touch with us asking us to promote their grant opportunity on the website. So we make sure that we give them enough space on our website, and also we have a robust team of researchers sitting in our offices across the world, collecting information from time to time, contacting various donors publicly, privately, and then getting all the information possible and then putting that on our website. So this has been a very smart process that we have developed over a long period of time. We have our own technology to collect this information and provide it to our customers.
Yeah, Samir, and of course, for the people watching the show, the entrepreneurs watching the show, Samir and his team are in a very enviable position because they've been at it so long. They've built so much trust and so much sort of panache with the entire ecosystem that the people that are funding the NGOs, they reach out to Samir and his team and say, hey, put us on your platform. We want to be on the platform. And that comes with not only a great reputation, but also the length of time that a company has been around. So for the younger entrepreneurs watching the show, remember, sometimes things don't happen overnight. I mean, sometimes it's a 16-year overnight success story. And of course, when you get to that situation, when you get to that position of leadership, it's very important to make sure your team can continue to create not only value, but also your team can continue to promote the fine reputation that your company has built. So Samir, that leads me to your team, because if we look at the team you have, it looks like a who's who of, funding NGOs. So how important is the team to the success at the company right now?
Well, the team plays a very critical role in making sure that the whole platform that we have built up over a long period of time is sustained and continues to provide the services to our customers. So we have to make sure that we don't let down our customers. So it's very important the team is in place and everyone knows what they are doing, and we have to continuously involve them in finding new team members at the same time and also keep them training all the time. Now, what we have been doing is a very unique work, and team members may not have experience working on this elsewhere. So it's basically that we spend at least 6 to 10 months in training our team members. We usually prefer getting fresh graduates and grooming them right from the start. So many of our team members have been with us for more than 5 to 6 years, and they have become experts in researching and curating content and publishing information on the website. So we have got a research team, as I told you earlier, who undertake offline and online research, and collect tools and information, and then they pass it on to our content team. The content team builds up the databases, and then we have got an editorial team to make sure we have quality checks, whatever information we have been giving out to our customers. Then we have a marketing team that spreads the word around. And to support these teams, we have got a customer support team and an IT team to make sure that our platforms are stable. And in case of any problems, they are available to help our customers. So these teams are actually, the teams that I have are from a very diverse group. I mean, they are not located at a single country. Of course, the backend team is in India, but then we have resource persons supporting us from the United States, from the UK, from Japan, from Singapore, from Nigeria, Kenya, building up research, doing research and building up content and doing training videos, courses for our customers. So it's really interesting to work with so many people from diverse backgrounds across the world.
Yeah, Samir, before I let you go, I know you've only cut out a certain amount of time. I do want to talk about entrepreneurship. But before we do, you have some interesting and exciting new things that are happening at Funds for NGOs. We had a chance to speak before the interview about some of those initiatives. Maybe you could share some of those newer initiatives with our viewers.
Yes, we have been constantly trying to find new strategies to help our customers so that they can get better and better with the work they have been doing. So it's not about just providing them information at the right time. We also have to make sure that whatever grant opportunity they are coming across, they should be in a position to apply to those grant opportunities successfully. So apart from providing them with skills and knowledge and resources, it's also important that we actually make them sit down and do their own, help them do the research, develop their planning and put up that proposal. So we have been talking to various agencies on coming up with an AI style grant writing platform that can help our non-profit organizations around the world to easily come up with their project planning and proposal documents and submit it to grant making organizations. So it's a very innovative and very new idea, especially during these recent times when we have AI holding up everywhere. So it's very important that the NGOs also take advantage of this technology and start working on that. So we have been looking at AI as a critical part of our business in future, and we have been working on that right now.
Yeah, Samir, of course, you've been a leader, a zeitgeist, a forward thinker throughout your career, and here you are, right at the cutting edge of the AI with a system that's being developed that will help actually write the grant proposals, which is phenomenal, and you'll be a leader in that as well. Now, before we let you go, let's talk about entrepreneurship, because we do have some younger entrepreneurs watching this show, and maybe they're hitting a tough time, Samir. Maybe they're freezing in the frame a little bit. Maybe they're, not sure what to do. Maybe they don't know if they should pivot. For the younger entrepreneurs watching the show, Samir, maybe you could share some insight about what it takes to keep on pushing as an entrepreneur and keep on going.
Well, I firmly believe, from whatever experience I have got in entrepreneurship, I firmly believe that in today's world, you can sell anything. So because you develop your product from out of your passion, and you're able to reach out a customer base anywhere, in any part of the world, but there'll always be someone interested in your product. So it's just a matter of finding that. So the need in the market exists. The challenge is to identify the need. But then if there is no need, then you can actually create a need in the market. So, and then you can create a need by raising awareness, educating people. And once people start realizing the importance of something, then you can start introducing that product. So if you have the most successful way of achieving a business success is basically that you are able to develop your product out of your passion. So once you have the passion, you also automatically gain the traction you need to continue working in the field. So the customers exist, the product exists, the traction should come out of the passion that you have for the product. So as long as the passion is there, I'm quite sure it's very easy for us to move on with our business.
Yeah, Samir, great advice. Of course, the end user, the customer needs to know that there is a need, and you need to create that need in some cases. And when you do so and they finally get an aha moment, and you add the passion and the team like you've done to your business at Funds for NGOs, all good things happen, Samir. So I want to thank you so much today for coming on the .com magazine to share with us what's happening at Funds for NGOs. You've got the premium platform, you've got the other platform, which is just filled with all kinds of information. What you give away just because you love helping people and love helping organizations is incredible. I know you have a passion to give back to entrepreneurs, a passion to give back to NGOs, nonprofits, a passion to give back to your community, and a passion to change the world in a positive way. So, Samir, I want to thank you for coming on the .com magazine Entrepreneur Spotlight Series today.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you very much.